Hello, everybody. How are you doing? Turn the music off. I'm feeling a little bit under the weather again. My whole family is. Everyone's sick. So I'm sitting down tonight. Hope you don't mind. I'm sneezing and runny nose. I'm all up. Got my Vicks anti-cold right now. So my eyes are all puffy. I feel like crap. But I said I'm going to be here for a month. So I got to be a soldier and stick with it and show up every night unless I'm in the hospital. All right. So we'll find out a way. All right. So I want to show you guys this. What's up, Randy? Loving the Aurochs. Yeah. Thank you, Aurochs. Look, guys, I don't work with Aurochs anymore. I worked with them from 2017 up until July of this year. I love the platform. So I will continue to use it. I will continue to recommend people use it because TradingView costs money to use some of their applications, and the guys at Aurochs, they don't charge. They're just continuing to build. They're looking to go public, so they want users. Thank you, Paul. Hit the likes as you come in, guys. Thank you. Hex Luther's here. Thank you, brother. Thanks for showing up again. Elliot says, "Let's go." Terry Doc White says, "Hello from Scotland." And we were just in Scotland. So we were in Edinburgh, and then we were in Inverness, way up north. We got to go see if we could find Nessie on Loch Ness. And we also went to Glasgow. My wife loved Glasgow. She absolutely loved it. I preferred Edinburgh. So did my son. Actually, my son liked Glasgow because they had so many cool museums that we could go to. Bright Light Crypto says, "Hey, first one, glad to make it." JB says, "Good evening." Black Label Expat, thanks again for 3 nights in a row, man. You're showing up. TFEX, hi everyone. Always nice to see and hear from you, Randy. Thanks again. I appreciate it, brother. Hey, Alejandra. She lives right here. How you doing? She's in here from LinkedIn. Silver Dragon says, "Good on you, Randy." He finally caught you live. Good, Tedward. Great. What did he say? 30,000 milligrams of vitamin C. That'd be funny, wouldn't it? Okay, so you meant 300. Chris says, "What's up, Randy? Finally catching one of these live. Enjoyed the replays in the first 2. Thanks, guys. Look, man, the first one is over 1,100 views. People really want to know what's going on in the world." Jonathan Capella says, "Randy, hope you're doing good tonight." Tony says, "Thoughts on Monero?" I'm actually an Epicash guy. I was in the launch team for Epicash. I believe in privacy coins. I believe that you should be able to hold something anonymously. So I just like the technology that Epicash uses better than Monero. They use ring signatures, and Epicash uses Mimblewimble along with CoinJoin. So I'm not going to go into the text of privacy coins, not tonight, but yeah, I definitely prefer Epicash. Interesting talk so far. Thanks, Joe. Thoughts on Monero? Yeah, that's it. I mean, the thing with Monero or with any crypto, if you buy it on a centralized exchange and then you send it to your wallet's no longer. How private are you? That kind of creeps me out. So we have just 28 days or 28 days left until September 26th, the end of Rosh Hashanah, the last day this Shemitah year. And it's looking bad. The news, the things that are coming out, I've got some stuff to show you. We're going to talk about CBDCs tonight, central bank digital currencies. And Twitter was on fire today with the CBDCs. So it was trending. I was like, oh yeah, I got my material for tonight. So we'll discuss CBDCs. So those of you guys who do not know, let's go into it really quick. A central bank digital currency is something that's controlled by the central banks in the different countries. So they're trying to do what we do in crypto, but without privacy, privacy is one, without open transparency as well. So one thing about Bitcoin, for those of you guys who do not know, is that when you do a transaction on Bitcoin, your transaction is not private. It's public. Anybody can see the transaction. They might not know the account that owns the transaction, but they can see who's sending to who. All right. So anybody that's really good at figuring out what's it called, like chain analytics, they can figure out whose wallets they are. Like, for example, on Ethereum, my family's main wallet is KYC to my wife's name. We paid for our truck with it. You know, we sent USDC to a Coinbase invoice. So that account will forever be linked to my wife's name. So if I send, or my wife sends coins to somebody via that wallet, anybody that in law enforcement or in the government, they can figure out that that's Anna's wallet, right? So that's a good thing about having transparency. But the other idea is that you want to have wallets that aren't public, just for safety's sake. CBDCs are very different than that. CBDCs, the government can see everything you're doing. Sorry, I told you I'm a little bit messed up tonight. They can see everything that you're doing, as well as they can decide what you can do. So that's what we're going to go into. I've got a couple great videos of people discussing CBDCs and how they're not good for us. I know the sheep out there are going to say, oh, CBDCs are going to be fine. You know not what you're asking for. So Crypto Freedom says, good evening, Randy. Let's fucking go pump this. Generational wealth incoming. Yes. Hex has been amazing for us. It's the money giving tree, or whatever you want to call it. It's just absolutely nuts. So what are the biggest dumps expected because of Shmita? Usually it could happen a couple weeks before, just like in September of 2001. 9/11 happened on 9/11, right? So it could happen before or shortly thereafter. I would say give it all the way up until November. Terry says, yes, perfect time. Get some haggis, man. I actually liked haggis. I tried it when we were on our trip. It was some good stuff. Denver says semi-private. Which one's semi-private? It's Marion. Good vibes. Good evening, y'all. Yeah, it's Marion. I need some good vibes. My family, we've been sick for almost 5 or 6 days. Went to the beach, tried to clear out that negative energy. Tried to soak up that salt water. To no avail yet. Big brother looking at our transactions. Yes, they are. They already do it with the banking system, right? The traditional banking system. But what is the point of having CBDCs? They don't need CBDCs. You're going to see in some of these videos. I mean, you can already transact on PayPal and Venmo instantly. Why do we need CBDCs? See here, my wife? She's coughing her lungs out there. Blug says, what's up, Randy? Back for another. Yes, sir. Appreciate it. Yeah. Thanks, Paul. That stinks. Yay, daily streams. Yes, I am here for the next 30 days. And after that, I'll probably do Saturday nights. I like Saturday nights because there's no other competition. Nobody does live streams on Saturday nights. It'll just be Randy. I'll extend it. It'll probably be like a 2-hour show or a 3-hour show. I'll have people come in, and it'll be kind of like we used to do with something called Discourse Syndicate, where it was kind of a no holds barred. We used to talk about whatever we wanted to. It was a lot of fun. A lot of military veterans are in there talking and stuff. So it was a blast. Thoughts on ETH censorship after merge with validators? Look, I'm a Pulse Chain guy. What's happening with ETH is similar to what we're going to have in Pulse Chain, because both proof of stake. I was a big user of Steemit back in the day, and Steemit didn't have privacy. It was 100% transparent. So I'm used to it. I'm not worried about transparency, guys. What I'm worried about is programmable money, which our CBDCs are, that they could tell us what to do with our money. All right, transparency is not an issue for me. You know, if I want something to be private, I just keep a separate wallet and I use Epic Cash or some other Mimblewimble product, or Mobile coin, and then those transactions, if I send something to you, it's private between you and me, and it's an agreed transaction, and there should be no problem with that. The government should not have a problem with that, period. But they want to control us. NasHex.com. What's up, Randy? Hey, what's up? And he said, Germany going through power crisis right now. Electric power cost them. Yeah, man. This is all coming to a head. I actually watched a video. I can't remember the gentleman that did it. I watched it about a year ago, and he was talking about all these different cycles that are meeting at the same time. We have like 3 major cycles: economic, social, and one other one. I can't remember what it is, but all 3 are coming together at the same time, and it has not happened in over 1,000 years. So cycles are happening. And then on top of it, this year we have the Shmita. 2023, we have the Jubilee year. I'm not sure what the Jubilee is going to do, but we're here to talk about Shmita right now. That's the prime concern over the next couple of months. All right, so let's go into the big announcement that happened today. This is from the Federal Reserve. This lady came out and she spoke about the CBDCs. And Alejandra, this is important to us too here in Panama because we are on the dollar standard. So if you're watching and you're in Panama or Ecuador, or there's one more, I think it's El Salvador, those 3 countries are on the dollar. This pertains to us as well, people who live in these countries. So I'm going to show you these videos.
I'm pleased to join you at the FedNow Early Adopter Workshop. With the technical testing phase of the FedNow service kicking off in mid-September, I want to particularly thank you, the early adopters, for the important investments you're making to prepare for the day when the FedNow service goes live. Together, we'll be ready to launch the FedNow service between May and July of 2023, bringing this innovative core instant payments infrastructure to financial institutions of every size across America. We've been working hard to deliver on time, but ultimately the number of American businesses and households that are able to access instant payments will depend on financial services providers making the necessary investments to upgrade our payments infrastructure. Together, we can ensure all Americans have access to a modern and reliable instant payment system. The payment system is a critical part of America's infrastructure that touches everyone. Americans rely on the payment system all day, every day to make purchases, pay bills, and get paid without ever needing to think about the complex infrastructure that's operating under the hood. The FedNow service will transform the way everyday payments are made throughout the economy, bringing substantial gains to households and businesses through the ability to send instant payments at any time on any day with funds immediately available to recipients to make other payments or manage cash flow. Immediate availability of funds could be especially important for households managing their finances paycheck to paycheck or small businesses with cash flow constraints. Having the capacity to manage money in real time could help households avoid costly late fees or free up working capital for small businesses to finance growth. During the pandemic, we saw how essential rapid access to funds can be, as so many households started spending their emergency relief payments on the day they were received. To deliver on the promise of a payment system for the future, the Federal Reserve has made a substantial commitment to the FedNow platform, which has benefited from the technologies and approaches provided by global technology companies that are vital for today's always-on digital economy. Our cloud-first design, unique among central bank instant payment services, positions us for the future by enabling not only the throughput and scalability required for high-volume retail transactions, but also broad geographic points of resiliency to ensure continuous service. Cloud-first design affords other key components such as self-healing processes and automation, which add to operational resilience. And our development processes are agile, allowing us to deliver new features faster to financial institutions of all sizes as they're ready to adopt them based on their priorities. We've also invested heavily in stakeholder engagement to ensure readiness for adoption through efforts like the pilot program, the FedNow Explorer resource, the FedNow Community, the Service Provider Showcase, and the FedNow Early Adopter Workshop. To advance our goal of nationwide reach for instant payments, we are working closely with the private sector RTP instant payment service on message specifications to ensure alignment and support of routing interoperability. Just as the Federal Reserve has made a substantial commitment to our new instant payments infrastructure, we're calling on industry stakeholders to do the same. The shift to real-time payments infrastructure requires a focused effort, but the shift is inevitable. The time is now for all key stakeholders, financial institutions, core service providers, software companies, and app developers to devote the necessary resources to support instant payments. That means upgrading back office processes, evaluating accounting procedures for a 7-business-day week, arranging liquidity providers, deploying a new customer-facing app, and promoting instant payments for key use cases to customers. As the service providers featured at this event will demonstrate over the next few days, parts of the industry have already seized on the opportunity to build new services and capabilities that support instant payments. These efforts will increase competition in the market for end-user services and promote innovation. Key benefits from providing the FedNow service as a neutral platform accessible to financial institutions of all sizes around the country. Let me close by just again thanking our early adopters. The input you've provided has been instrumental for our team as they've designed and built this service, and the time and energy you've committed to this effort is critical for a successful launch. I want to call on additional banks and core service providers to join your commitment to prepare for adoption of the FedNow service. This time next year, I hope we can all have a great sense of accomplishment in our shared effort to transform America's payment system for the digital era. Thank you.
All right, translate. It's time to translate. If you've been in crypto for a while, you understood about 90% of what she was saying. We know these things. We hear these terms all the time. It's going to be called FedNow, and they're going to have it launched by next spring. So what's going to be the impetus for them to press the go button? I don't know. Is it going to have anything to do with Shmita? Are we going to have a dollar crisis? Is China and the BRICS, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, are they going to decide to dump all their dollars? I don't know what's coming, but they're saying that they need a rework. So 50 years ago in the last Jubilee, we had the end of the Bretton Woods Agreement, which took US dollars off the gold standard. Is this Jubilee year, and she just told us that it is this the next step where we're going to get rid of dollars as we know it? And are we going to go 100% digital? It looks like it's happening, and they're going to do it quick. So I just want to tell you a story. We were just in the UK, obviously. And while we were in the UK, everything was going cashless. It drove us nuts. I'm a seasoned traveler. I've been all over the world. I'm used to going to an ATM when I arrive, taking out some cash, and just spending money with cash. I wasn't allowed to do it. Almost everything that we did, especially as tourists, was cashless. And they're already preparing for it. And Sweden's already like 99% cashless. UK is not far behind. I remember going to the York Minster Castle in York, and not York Minster Abbey, sorry, in the city of York, Northern England. And I walked in and I had my money to pay. And the lady said to me, "Sorry, we don't take cash." And I said, "Are you kidding me?" And I couldn't help myself, but I mansplained what's happening. And she told me, "Well, it's good because we don't have to touch money anymore. The COVID crisis taught us that money transfers disease." Okay, if that's what you think. The sheep don't understand when you don't have power over your money, they can take it away. So I I kind of mansplained, but it didn't go over too well. We still went in the church. I still paid with a credit card, and we got to see it. But still, I was disappointed to see that the UK is in this rush to go cashless. The rest of the world's following behind pretty quickly. So let's go see what people said about this. Wow, you guys are really going off. Money Gang Crypto says, caught you live, Randy. Yes, you did. Alejandra, yes, she's in Panama. Hope your family's doing well. Yeah, soon. That tells me that this Jubilee year, they're doing just like with the Bretton Woods. It's 50 years. Seriously, guys. It's like they wanted the Russia war to happen so they can use the excuse to I don't know, buy energy from them, that trying to killing off the middle class because of a problem and offer the solution. Yes. They're already talking about giving like not incentives, but like coupons to help you with your electric bills or your power bills. And I think it was in Germany, or maybe it's the UK. I can't remember which one it was. Oh, what does the Pope have to say? The Pope instructed to move the funds to the Vatican Bank by September 30th. Money is aligning with the Shmita along with the Catholic enterprise. Yes, it is, man. I'm telling you, this Shmita is even bigger because right behind it is the Jubilee year. There's some big stuff happening, and I got goosebumps right now. We're gonna see some interesting stuff. This 30-day live stream, people are gonna look back in the history books. Because we're just gonna, up until the 26th, it's just gonna be news event after news event after news event, and it's gonna be we're gonna have a big awakening in our community. Signs off. Hey, buddy, how you doing? What a lovely, honest, trustworthy woman from the Fed. Nothing to see here. Can only be good for the world. Yeah, exactly. A cashless society has always been the goal for the elite. Yes, it has. Cashless society is a controlled society. Curious, they're making their own chain on Ethereum. Geez, I can't remember the one that JP Morgan had. It was a fork of Ethereum, and they did some changes to it. I can't remember the name of it, but I don't know if that's the one they're building on. Wow, she's cute. I wonder if the rug matched. Tony, really? Hex Monkey, how you doing, brother? One of the nicest guys in Hex Monkey. I think a CBDC comes out in September. Yeah, and the Europeans too. The Europeans are all over it. They're doing CBDCs too. David says, good evening, y'all. Hey, David. Next Luther's creepy. Yeah. She needs a dose of Adita. Guys, I don't want to get kicked off YouTube. So I'm going to try not to say some certain words, you guys, but scary and gross. Fed now or like scam now. Yep. Alejandro says, wow, Hegelian dialectic. They cause dollar collapse and will sweep it under guise of heroes with CBDC solution in short order. Exactly. Cause a problem, already have the solution ready, just like during 2020 and 2021. Don't mind it, fools. Give the Fed all your money now. I'm telling you right now, guys, I'm in cash. When it comes like my crypto, I'm in stables. When I say cash, I mean digital stable coins that are pegged to the dollar. What will you be buying during big Shmita dips? For me, I'm back. Hex is my baby, man. So if the Pulse Chain and Pulse X were launched, I'd probably be going for those too, but they're not launched yet. Thoughts on, okay. No, I don't know anything. You're going to see a couple videos about the WEF, but people are talking about the XRP partnering. I see a lot of that on TikTok, but maybe I'll dig into that one and we could talk about it. Not tonight, though. Grew up in Brockport. Good to hear you from Rachacha. Yes, I am. Awesome. Brockport. My stepbrother lives out that way. Checked out Aurochs after last night's stream. Good on you, Space Options. I hope you enjoy it. Like I said, I have nothing to sell from them. I just love their product and use it every day. Is it possible for them to close the fiat on-off ramps in correlation with the CBDC announcement? My biggest concern with this Shmita. I think it might be a transition from Swift as well. I'm not quite sure yet. We don't know. We don't have the actual specifics, but that could be something that we have to worry about. Maybe ATMs won't work for a little while. Alejandro, I remember, but back in the day, talking about 2012 or so, there was a whole weekend where the ATMs in Panama didn't work, and I reported on that on goldseek.com. And oh my God, that was the best article my friend Peter, the owner of goldseek.com, had all year. Because everyone who's like me, gold and silver bugs, and people in crypto, and people who are worried about the financial system collapse, they were all over it. They're like, why are they shutting down the ATMs in Panama? Because Panama is a central banking for the whole area. It's pretty important. So when the ATMs here are shut down, people were freaking out, and end up being they're going through some kind of an upgrade. Silverback crypto should be a good option, Randy. Yes. You can already do it. AGX, AUX, Load already has that sorted. And we had a great meeting for Load today. I am with the Load team. I'll be selling gold and silver through them and that kind of stuff, but tonight's not the night. Yes, the UK government apparently giving all households £400 to help ease the soaring energy bills. See, there you go. That's the news that I heard today. It wasn't Germany, so it's the UK. But how is that? Is that really going to help? I don't know. All right, so let's dig a little bit deeper. Now, this came from the Joe Rogan show. Mahid Nawaz went on the Joe Rogan show, and this is his opinion, what he thinks about the CBDCs.
Do you feel like you're sounding the alarm?
Yes.
For people that don't understand what the fuck is going on?
So here, I've pulled it up for you here, yeah? So there's the video.
Yeah.
I don't know if your camera can see that, but
no.
There's the video. There's him speaking about it.
The G7 is launching a set of public policy principles for retail central bank digital currencies, CBDCs. Central bank digital currencies could be a digital version of money, a bit like a digital banknote that could be used alongside...
Right, so that's the guy who runs our economy in the UK. His name's the Chancellor of the Exchequer. And here is the article. Bank of England tells ministers to intervene on digital currency programming, yeah? And here's a quote from the article. This is in the Telegraph, the one he pulled up, but it was behind a paywall, so I'll just read the quote. Digital cash could be programmed to ensure it is only spent on essentials or goods which an employer or government deems to be sensible.
Holy shit.
Now, I'm going to take it one step further for you, Joe, right? So the vaccine passport infrastructure is in place. But now we know that the vaccine doesn't stop infection or transmission, but the checkpoint Charlie exists everywhere. They bring in digital banking, central banking digital currencies. You've got a scenario now that you're checking in and out everywhere you go using vouchers that are programmed, and you can only spend where you're told you can spend them. There's another word for that, man. That's called the Chinese social credit system. That's what it's called. And anyone who watches Black Mirror will know what I'm talking about. That's that TV show, right?
Yeah.
So what they are telling us, and when I say they, who's they? People in power. That's the head of our economy, the Chancellor of the Exchequer, second most powerful person other than the Prime Minister and maybe the Foreign Secretary in the UK, right? He's telling us, I just played it there for you. He's telling us that's what he, as the UK, the head of the G7, want to bring in for the G7. So a scenario where, like in New York at the moment, because the passport infrastructure is in place, you bring in that digital currency and you've got this total control. And if I'm speaking to you the way I'm speaking now, and my employer or government, you heard that in the quote directly, yeah, deems me as saying or doing something inappropriate, suddenly I can't actually pay to come here and speak to you anymore. My digital currency won't even pay for the ticket because it will be known that I'm coming to speak to you. Sorry, your vouchers don't allow you to purchase that ticket to go and speak to Joe.
All right, that's one. Now I have number two. This is also Mahid Nawaz because he's very well versed in CBDCs.
But then after that, you've got this, let's not forget the CBDCs, central banking digital. They say currencies, I say coupons. And the reason I say coupons is because it's not cash. They can turn it on and off. They can program it so you can only use it for certain things. It functions like a food voucher. So these CBDCs, when the financial system under the strain it's under right now, when it collapses or we sink into some severe depression, I believe we're either in it or about to go into it, they're going to say that fiat currency, the money, is no longer the way forward because they've been printing too much of it to keep us in lockdown. They were giving us here in the UK free handouts of cash.
Yeah.
They call it the furlough system, paying people to stay at home. To afford that, they were just simply printing money. They call it quantitative easing. They've just been printing more money than you can ever imagine. Now, that's unsustainable is when or if the financial system collapses. It actually collapsed in 2008. It's on life support right now. And the money printing has only led to it being sort of going further into its grave. When I think this whole thing, this house of cards comes crashing down, they are going to seek to implement CBDC, central banking digital coupons, over all of us that are linked to a digital identity so that we cannot buy or sell without going through this digital identity. And the way that we currently pay electronically on our phones, instead of going through Visa or MasterCard, we're going to have an account, as they've told us already, by the way, directly with the central bank. Now, for that to work, it has to be tied, of course, to our identities. And they're going to merge all of our records together. So health, criminal, and any other records, financial, insurance, social credit, all of it merged on one system so that when we buy and sell, they can determine whether, for example, we've met our carbon targets for that day. If I had, for example, I don't know, a beef burger for lunch, I can't buy a steak for dinner because I've used up too many carbon credits for that day. So the coupons, the CBDCs that I'm trying to use to buy the steak simply won't work. Like a voucher, right? They simply won't work. I can only buy certain things. So by the time dinner time comes, their view would be I have to eat bugs because I've had a burger for lunch. Eventually, they could phase out meat altogether.
So what do you guys think about that? Oh man. Saito says, keep your eyes on 7th November, full lunar eclipse, and Elon tweeted about 7/11 on June 22nd. Jeez, man. Look, there's people out there that'll say that numerology and gematria and all that it's all magical fairy dust, right? Can't believe in this stuff. Shmita, all this. Let me tell you something. The current way that we live today has only been around since the early 1900s. Prior to that, for thousands of years, society, culture, everything was around numerology. And everything was numbers. If you listen to billionaires talk, they talk about numbers. They talk in cycles. Learn from those people. Don't learn from the people on CNBC. I'm following the big money, and the big money follows numbers. Just like Senzo says right here, Elon tweeted about 7/11 on June 22nd. 7/11, I learned this from Waters Above, 22, half of 22 is 11. It's creepy stuff, but very, very interesting. All right. Monica says, good evening. Monica. Terry Dad says, hi, man. Hey. Sounds like 1984. If you didn't notice in 2020 when all this stuff went down, that's the path they were going down. Come on, guys. We need to wake up and fight back. Paul says, eat siblings. I got a good video for that. Thank you, brother. All right. So next one is, now this is from Columbia University, and it's a short one, but they're starting to talk about it. The lawyers, they're like, there's something not right here.
I'm pretty skeptical. I keep asking anybody at the Fed or outside of the Fed to explain to me what problem this is solving. I can send anybody in this room $5 with Venmo right now. Right? No, seriously. So what is it that a CBDC could do that Venmo can't do? And all I get is a bunch of hand waving. I get a bunch, well, maybe it's better for financial inclusion. Maybe it's better for cross-border remittances. Maybe. Is there any evidence that it is? And they say, well, what about China? China's doing it. Well, I can see why China would do it. If they want to monitor every one of your transactions, you could do that with a central bank digital currency. You can't do that with Venmo. If you want to impose negative interest rates, you could do that with a central bank digital currency. You can't do that with Venmo. And if you want to directly tax customer accounts, you could do that with the central bank digital currency. You can't do that with Venmo. So I get why China would be interested. Why would the American people be for that?
Why would we be for that? It seems really odd that Americans are backing this, or are they backing it, or they just don't know about it. This has been in the works for years. I've said for years, being in crypto, that they're using crypto as a test to roll out their CBDCs. They want to see what worked, what didn't work. I don't know if they'll try to shut down crypto. Good luck, guys. You're not going to be able to do it. But I think they've been using it as a platform to test all kinds of stuff. And some of us got rich off of it. We did really well. So keep using your crypto. It's not going anywhere for a long time. I think the whole market, the stock market, everything is going to be brought onto the crypto platforms. All right, one last video. This is a video about the WEF and CBDCs.
Our financial system that we have today is not appropriate to support what the World Economic Forum says is going to be after the Great Reset. The new economic system that's envisioned has to have a new financial system, and it has to be digitized. That's why the central banks of the world today are all coordinating to create a system, a network of digital currency. The digitalization of money requires a digital ID for all the people that would use that financial system. Digital identity means that you can be identified in such a way to attach all of your history, your activity, and your future to one single point that represents you. Digital identity means total loss of privacy, total revealing of every conceivable activity that you could be involved with, all tied to one identity so that wherever you move in the world, you can be known, and that additional transaction history of your travels will be recorded. A lot of people talk about how great Bitcoin is, for instance, but in the case of Bitcoin, you have a blockchain technology that underpins Bitcoin and puts all of the transactions into what they call a blockchain, where there is no transparency either. It just happens to be distributed, but where there's no one central place it's stored, but you can still look into anybody's blockchain and see exactly who did what, when, where, how. The central bank are intending to create a digital currency that will use blockchain to collect with all of the pieces of information in it, but it will be flashed back to a central computer at the central bank, and it will be stored under your digital identity. That will be able to be analyzed using artificial intelligence software where they can predict your behavior, and if they don't like the behavior that's predicted, they can modify your behavior. This is the essence of scientific dictatorship in the end. Whoever controls the data controls the object of the data. In other words, where it was collected from. Wherever you might go, wherever you might show up, whatever you did on social media, tags where you are or who you're with or whatever. All of that information can be transmitted back to be attached to, in blockchain form, attached to your digital identity.
Yeah, I thought that was a pretty good video. He did say some incorrect stuff there when it came to Bitcoin. That's okay. Bitcoin is transparent. He said it wasn't transparent. It is. And you can see anything that goes between the wallets. You just might not be able to identify the person or the system behind it, but it's transparent. All right, so let's see what the comments here. Yeah, all the gematria guys are super big into XRP. Are they? I didn't know that, Tony. Mitch says, how do we fight back? Just don't use your systems. The less of us that comply and use it, that makes it harder for them to roll it out. USDC is the Trojan horse. Okay, let's talk about that for really quick. So a couple weeks ago, Tornado Cash, was it the SEC or somebody came out and said that Tornado Cash is aiding money laundering and that kind of stuff. So anybody who used Tornado Cash could no longer use USDC. USDC is backed by Circle. Circle they've got funds and everything. They're working with the US government. USDC is a stable coin on the Ethereum network. So they blocked everyone's wallets. So if you ever use Tornado Cash, which anonymizes your Ethereum transactions, if you ever use it, even once in your wallet was banned. Your wallet can never, ever use USDC again. Programmable money. They showed us in one fell swoop, in one day, how they could wreck thousands of people's lives. Thousands. So if you're an American citizen, you live anywhere in the world, and you used Tornado Cash to anonymize any transactions within your Ethereum wallet, you can never use USDC, ever. So that is Programmable money in a nutshell. You are no longer allowed to use the money. So yes, there's plenty of other stable coins, but it was a test. I'm saying they're using crypto to test things, see what our response is going to be, what the outrage is going to be. Are we going to fight back? Are we going to start screaming at them? Say, you can't do that. We need to scream. Why did I leave Panama in 2020? Why did we go to Mexico for almost a year? Because Panama told us we couldn't move freely. We were locked in our house 7 months straight. Screw that, man. I'm out. You don't get to tell me if I can't move or can or can't move. John says, woo. Thank you, GD. If everybody please help me get these numbers up. I'm going to keep this up. Yes. Anybody who grew up in the church, they know what the mark of the beast is. And it's so funny growing up and hearing those kind of terms. And I saw it, I learned, and it was all going into my mind, but I never really thought that it would happen so quick and so early in my lifetime. So when you're 15 years old and you hear something like that, whatever. Yeah, it's just on the cover of some CD that looks odd, and now it's all rolling out. You can't buy, sell, or trade without it. Exactly. Gerardo says, what up, Randy? Late, but here listening at 1.25 speed, trying to catch up. I'll try to talk faster. So CBDCs turn off souls and laugh out loud digitally. That is, yeah. They can predict our behavior. Yeah, they can already predict our behavior. I mean, I just got back from a 3-month tour around Europe. Everywhere I went, my phone would change the ads based on the location that we were. And I don't even have my location on my phone. They still knew where I was. So Google, do you really allow me to turn off the GPS? Is it still running in the background? These phones, you can't even open these phones anymore and change things. I have an Android. I have a Samsung. Can't open them anymore like you used to. You used to be able to disconnect stuff. Edward Snowden used to have videos where he'd show you how you go on your phone. You could disconnect the GPS and things like that. You can't do it anymore. My wife's Apple's the same way. iPhone, you can't do anything with it. Tone says, will P-Hex be a lot cheaper than E-Hex right after Pulse Chain launch? No, I think it's going to be the other way around. I think P-Hex, when people make 20, sorry guys, we're kind of shifting here. When the launch of Pulse Chain happens, I think Pulse Chain is going to fly. I think we're going to have a 25x really quick. But people can see those kind of profits, and then Hex is pretty low. P-Hex, the new Hex, is pretty low. The money is going to flow into P-Hex, and we could have a rush and a price jump, but I'm not sure. I think E-Hex might suffer until the bridge launches. We're going to have a bridge between Ethereum and Pulse Chain, and once that happens, the price should even out pretty well. OFAC listed Tornado Cash as a STC there. OFAC, that's who did it. RH is big on Tornado Cash. Do you think he used it with Hex and SAC Addy? The SAC coins got converted into DAI and USDC. I wonder if his Addy got flagged. Of course, his Addy got flagged, but maybe the fact that he lives outside the US saved him for now. And I know he uses VPNs religiously. So if he's doing those kind of things, it's a little bit more difficult for them to figure out whose address it was, right? Like they don't know he's a U.S. citizen. But I know their end game is that any U.S. citizen around the world cannot use Tornado Cash. Large scale civil disobedience. It's coming, guys. It's coming. And I know that we're not going to say Mr. KS's name from the WEF, but he even made a video that says, oh, there will be angry people. Or no, sorry, that was too Indian. He said there will be angry people and the world will be upset in the coming years. A lot of anger. He said that. And he knows that people are going to be pissed off and there's going to be civil disobedience. It's coming. So that's why they say their reset is by 2030. All right. So we are in 2022, going into 2023, 7 more years of pain until they plan to get what they want. But it also means that we have time to slow them down or wreck their plans. Which is why Bitcoin is superior for censorship resistance than ETH is. Yeah, I mean, true. I believe that. But I love Ethereum because of all the smart contracts and the stuff you can build on it. That's just my opinion. Valley Brand, what's up, brother? Where do I get these? This is Hex Merch, hexmerch.com. It says, stake Hex, thank me later. Yes. Sorry. I might get canceled for doing that. Do you think the prices on testnet are reflective of what mainnet launch will be? Nah, not really. I think it's no different than you go to the casino and you're playing on the fake casino. You know, the game on the phone is not real money, and you get lots of big wins and stuff, and people are just throwing cash around. You got 10,000 in your fake wallet, and you're doing all on black your first roll. That's kind of how I feel the testnet is. People are doing things that they normally wouldn't do because they don't have to worry. There's no caution because they don't have any ramifications if they make a mistake. That's the thing about the testnet. So it'll be more conservative. All right, so let's go here. Okay, we are at, oh wow, man, time's flying tonight. I didn't know if I was gonna be able to make it because I felt so sick. All right, so Bitcoin is pumping. What's going on over here? Here we go. So, do you think you'll be able to buy PHEX with USDC on Pulse? No, I don't think so. Heard 69% of nodes used to stake ETH 2.0 is in AWS. How is the censorship resistance? Exactly. Yeah, I really wish that we could move away from using AWS and have different things around the world be helpful. Why do we have to use just one system? AWS is Amazon Web Services, guys, for those of you guys who don't know. Oh, geez. How do I? All right. Same thing with Sol. That's Solana. Most is used on AWS. Yeah, it's definitely an attack vector that could take the whole system down. Yeah, I got it. I took that down. I have to get set some of you guys up with wrenches. I don't have anybody up there. Hey, Randy, I followed your advice a few months ago and was dollar cost averaging into Hedron when it was 6 zeros. Yeah, buddy. I get thanks. I get so many thanks for the Hedron move, man. Because I was telling everybody, look, when it was super high, I was like, sell, 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 sell. I was like, look, dude, you're up 7 or 8x. It's time to take some profits on Hedron. Because at the time there was no good utility for Hedron, but now there is. All right. Yeah. Okay, so let's get into the charts here. So it looks like Bitcoin's getting a little mini pump here. Let's go into let's check the mini pump. Let's go into the 15-minute chart. Yeah. Yep, yeah. We just went from 20,142 up to 20,266 or so. All right. Stay away from 15-minute charts, folks. I'm just looking to see what's going on. Let's look at the weekly. I know I tell everyone only use the monthly for the RX indicator, but this is a little bit more exciting when you're looking at the weekly because you get to see a little bit more action. We do have a buy signal, a buy indicator going back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 weeks for Bitcoin. We get a couple more of those, and we might get the monthly to swap, go green. But I highly doubt it, just because the end of the year this year, there's too many negative things that are coming. I think that the Federal Reserve is going to have to increase rates. I think that the real estate market in China is about to, it already imploded, but it could, they say China catches a cold, the whole world catches a cold. Well, that's how it is. So China's economy is very sick right now, so it's going to start affecting all of us. Then you have what's happening with Russia and Ukraine. You've got the issues with gas, oil and gas in Europe this winter, and also the food issues with the harvest. They're purposely hurting the food. All over the U.S., we've seen all these different food processing facilities go up in flames this year. Sounds pretty coordinated to me. All right, so that's Bitcoin. Bitcoin's actually looks pretty decent right now, but it might be that last pump before we get the big dump later in September. All right, so ETH is looking very similar. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I remember that cryptos tend to be very correlated. Bitcoin is the granddaddy. So when things do go up, they go up together, and they go down together. So ETH is looking pretty good right now. Hex, same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hex got the green 10 weeks ago. So 1 week before Bitcoin and Ethereum did, Hex had the buy signal. And man, it was a nice run. But we're right back to where we were at the end of the month in July. Now, Hedron. Now, understand that Hedron's pretty new, so there's not, the weekly chart looks like this. But I was telling everyone, look, guys, we're overheated. get out of Hedron. People were saying, pump. Hedron's going to go up. It's going to keep going. And I was like, it's overheated, guys. You can go back to Twitter and see what I was saying. I got to a fights with a bunch of people, and I was telling them, I'm out. And then we came all the way back down. And this is what I was telling you guys right around here. Start your DCA into Hedron, and then you saw what's going on now. It's amazing. Oh man, if you guys knew how much money I cast out in Hedron in the last 2 weeks, I can't believe we're allowed to do that. It's such an amazing little feature that we have within Hex. It's a derivative of Hex. You own Hex stakes, you get paid Hedron as well as get paid Hex. And then you can take that Hedron and you can either sell it for cash or buy more Hex or buy Icosa, which is also part of the Hedron network. You stake the Icosa and you earn even more Hedron. The ecosystem is amazing. It's like airdrops every day, massive amount of airdrops every day. All right. You're welcome, Tex Hex. Crypto Compassion, how you doing, brother? Hey, New Zealand's awake. I just joined. We'll rewind. All right, cool, Doug. Yeah, so there's so much news happening that it's hard to keep up. Today, the hot one was CBDCs all over Twitter. So I had to really get into the CBDC stuff and help explain it to you. You guys now are going to be way more educated about CBDCs than anybody around you. So it's up to you to share what's going on and what they're planning on doing. They're giving you coupons. Let's recap. CBDC is a central bank digital currency, very similar to a crypto, but they're not transparent. So they're only transparent to the government, the Federal Reserve. They can decide programmable money. They can decide what you're going to do with that digital currency. If you go to a restaurant and you have a steak, you might not be able to buy another steak for a week. It might not happen right away, but in the future, they're also going to put your carbon credits along with it. So you're going to have a certain amount of carbon credits per month. And once you use up those carbon credits, you're not going to be able to do some stuff. It's just how CBDCs are going to work. People think it's not going to have anything to do with carbon credits. Oh, hell yeah, it is. It will. It absolutely will. So then you have to find other ways to cut back on your carbon credits. And I'm actually talking to a Hexagon about a great project about that type of thing. So just be very wary and pay attention to what's going on. These next few months is going to give you a microcosm, a small idea of what they're planning to roll out over the next 2 or 3 years. Pradera Films says, you do realize the crash is going to be like, it could be. It could be all the way up. I'm saying up until November. We have the big lunar eclipse in November. They're going to offer you food NFT vouchers, basically. Coupons. Yeah, that's essentially what NFTs are. A coupon saying that you own something or you're allowed to own something. Once Shemitah ends, we enter Rosh Hashanah. I thought that the last day of Rosh Hashanah is the last day of Shemitah. I thought that's what it was, but if it's not, correct me if I'm wrong on the dates. 26th of September is the last day of Rosh Hashanah this year. At least I thought it was. Are these crashes artificially made by elites? I like to stay on YouTube, guys. Let's not go down the rabbit hole too much. Those kind of things. I don't want to accuse anybody, but you can read into what I'm showing you, and you can come to your conclusions. I'm giving you all the pieces of the puzzle, and it's up to you to put that puzzle together. Pulse chain is launched in late November, early January. Well, I hope so. That's what I'm looking forward to. I want to freaking launch this thing at the bottom of the market so we only have blue skies above. And you got all out here. It's November 7th to 8th. Okay. Shemitah ends on the 26th. Yeah, at the end of the year. Remember that the Hebrew calendar does not use the Gregorian calendar. They have their own calendar. I think this is year, oh geez, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but I think it's year 5732. I think that's what it was. Motley, what's up? I think Hex is going to be some of the richest people in crypto this next bull cycle. Fuck yeah, we are. We already are. Our community is so wealthy. So wealthy. Okay. All right, cool. Yeah, so my aim is to educate, and it's up to you to educate those people around you. Just like, for example, when Hex launched, I've got my whole family into Hex, and I told them, look, this thing's cool. Don't worry about what Google says. This thing's amazing. 3 years in now, December 9th will be our 3-year anniversary, and many millionaires have been minted. Ching. I know many people have done very well. Now I think Pulse Chain and PulseX are going to do the same thing. It's inevitable. It's written. It's just, in my opinion. I don't say not financial advice because it is. Luke says, if you think about it, no one knows what year it is. Yeah, I've heard rumors. I've seen things on the internet where people have said that they changed the dates for a lot of things, made it look like the stuff is much older than it really is. Hey Ray, how you doing? When did the Fed will pivot? They currently already talking about it. This is going to happen by the end of I think June or July next year that the CBDC is going to be rolled out. Crypto in our community is so ahead of the game. It's amazing. Everyone is trying to figure out trustless yield, and we have numerous money printers now. Yeah, Motley, I don't know how late you are, but I was just saying the amount of Hedron I've been able to cash out over the last 2 weeks is just unbelievable. Guys, I was a nurse for many years. I've been a nurse since 1993. And the Hedron I cashed out is way more than I made as a nurse's salary. And that's just my Hedron. I don't have to cash out my Hex anymore. And now we got Pulse Chain launching, and a lot of other things that we've got going on with Pulse Chain are going to be other money printers. It's just, man, I can't wait for it to launch. We don't have to sell anything anymore. With so much shit going on in the world, isn't it great we have the launch? Yeah, exactly. It's one of the things that keeps me going. Where is it? Ooh, right there, Pulse Chain. Yeah, and there's so much shit, but it keeps me excited about crypto, especially because I've been in crypto since 2014. Alejandra knows. I was telling her about Bitcoin years ago. We are in a time of change. Our own different version of a great reset is what's happening. The rich are going to get richer. The poor are going to get poorer. And crypto, I think, as a lot of people have said, that is the last big opportunity for people that are poor or middle class to get wealthy. I truly believe it's our last opportunity. After that, you're either a have or you're a have not. That's what they're setting up. That's what they want. Unless, of course, we fight back and we get to have some say in this. Sorry, guys. Could you give your honest opinion about ETA? Hey, Ray. I still own my ETA. I actually sold all of it, and I bought back recently when it was at 150. I think it's right around 150 right now. There was a good live stream back in July where Mike Patel was talking about what's going on. He's not going anywhere. That is the hardest working man I know besides Richard Hart. He's amazing, and I consider him one of the friendliest guys. I think you've watched my live stream in the past with Mike Patel. He's just amazing, dude. And I was supposed to be right now. I was supposed to be in Serbia with Mike Patel, watching and seeing what they're doing at the main offices for Ediswap and Ediverse. They're building their whole Ediverse. They have games. They have all kinds of cool stuff. So this next bull cycle, I think, is going to be very good to Ediverse. Will you provide liquidity for eHex? No, not I'm not much of a liquidity guy. I rather just have, I know that on PulseX we're going to have one-sided staking and be able to do one-sided liquidity providing. I'll probably do that. That's easier. The two-sided though, I used to do it with ETA, and it's too risky for me. What will happen with crypto after the Gov CBDCs launches? Will they try to make it illegal or something? I think some will. We've already seen what happened with Tornado Cash. Stuff that they don't like is going to go away. But like I said before, I believe that the stock market, everything that's on the stock market, equities, everything is going to be coming to crypto. Everything. We've already seen Tesla and others talking about it. So that's all going to be merged into the crypto market. That's how I think everything's going to happen. Oh, there's my mama. Mama showed up. The PHEX pair. Yeah, I will. I mean, if they have the one-sided liquidity, I'll do that, but I'm not doing dual-sided liquidity. No problem, Ray. I agree with Randy. Make this cycle count, guys. I don't know if we have another one. Yeah, man. I'm telling you. This is my third cycle in crypto. And this next one's going to be giant. I believe it's going to be the biggest and the last. Everything, just like Bitcoin. Well, let's talk like Richard does. When Bitcoin went from $30 all the way up to, when I first found about Bitcoin, it was $7, and by the end of the year it was 1,000. Right, that was the first big cycle that I was part of. So you had a good opportunity to make a lot of money, and then it went back all the way down to $250. Right. And then it went from 250. End of 2017, Bitcoin was back up to 20,000. So you had another multiple where you could make some good money, but not as good as the first one. Then the next one, it went back down to 3,500, and then it went from 3,500 up to 69,000. So your multiple lowered again. That's what happens. It gets weaker and weaker each time. So. But if you believe The Simpsons, if you've seen the Simpsons commercial of the future where it shows that Bitcoin has an infinity symbol next to it, who knows? Maybe the money printers just go burr so much that Bitcoin is worth billions in the future. It could happen. Talk to any Venezuelan or Argentinian person or people in Turkey right now who are going through massive inflation. So scary stuff. Let's see. Government is coming to clamp down. I think we may have our super cycle next too. Yep. Will Urus build on Pulse? I'm not in communication with the guys anymore since they kicked me to the curb in July. I'm still bitter about it. But yes, I've been pushing them to do Pulse Chain. I put it in their ear and said, come on, guys, come over. It just makes sense. Can you really explain a one-sided LP? No, it's just two-sided LP. What happens is that you could have impermanent loss. So you have two coins, and say that one coin moons, and the other one you're just stuck with a coin that didn't moon, right? So you don't get those big gains. That's the problem with dual-sided. With single-sided, you don't lose your coin. You still earn fees. You still make money. You get paid divs or something for having that stake, but you're not going to get the losses of the other coin that you have in the pool. So if you have Ethereum and you have USDC and Ethereum moons, you're going to get a whole bunch of USDC and you're not going to have much of Ethereum left. And that's why people are very careful with liquidity providing with dual-sided, right? Will you buy Bitcoin ever again? Yeah, sure. As a bottle cap, more as a collectible. Jesse says, did you participate in the genius sacrifice? No, I did not. And the middle class is pretty much destroyed now, man. Most around the world, the middle class is destroyed. It really is. We just got back from Europe, and I'm telling you, especially I lived in Italy during the 90s, and when it was still the Italian lira, and I felt like people were much wealthier when I lived there. I saw so much poverty this time in Italy. It was really sad to see. And we went all over the country. We spent almost a month in Sicily and then almost 3 weeks in northern Italy. And it didn't matter where in Italy. I swear the poverty got worse the further north you went, because all the refugees and everything are trying to go north. And that's where the jobs are. So it was really striking to see. Crypto Cashew said, aha. Hey, Trenton, what's up, brother? My friend from Cali. If stocks get tokenized, goes full crypto, will this mean they could be traded 24/7, 365, no more closing every day at 5? That was one of the comments that Fed lady said about the CBDCs, is that everything will be 7 days a week. I don't know if stocks will be right away, but the CBDCs, there's no more worrying about making transfers once the banks close and all that, because it is crypto. If every one of us who uses crypto every day, we know that we can do a transaction anytime we want, 24/7, 365. As long as the blockchain is working. If you're on Solana, I'm sorry, sometimes the blockchain goes down. But if you're on Ethereum, no problem. Just send a transaction anytime you want. Same thing with Bitcoin. That is a worry for some people, but when it comes to crypto, that stuff doesn't go down unless there's a disruption. If there's a disruption in the electrical grid or something like that, yes, maybe one of the AWS systems goes out. Yeah, that could disrupt, but we've never seen it happen yet. Are you worried you aren't diversified enough in your crypto portfolio? No, not worried at all. No. I used to be too diversified. I used to have hundreds of coins, and now I have maybe 12, something like that. So, all right, gents and ladies, it's 11:07. It's time for me to go to bed. I get to have dinner with a billionaire tomorrow night. One of my friends coming down. The guy's got his own winery up in Northern Cali, and I'm looking forward to hanging out with him. He lives in Panama part-time. So going out for a steak. I haven't had a steak in a while. So I'm already losing that Italian weight, man. I gained a bunch of weight when I was in Italy, and it's all coming off. Back in the fasting, and tomorrow night I'm taking advantage. All right, Black Label Expat says, I was in Rio last week, and you can see favelas next to mansions. Such a contrast. Seems like the future of many countries. Yeah, exactly. Terry says thanks. Shail says thanks. Tony says thanks. And Trent says hi to everyone. Cheers. All right, guys. I'm out of here. Have a great night.